Well, hey everybody, welcome. I'm here with Cavin. Cavin is lead filmer for Adapt's newest video, and we're actually here today to talk about Adapt's newest video. What's the title of it?
It's always hard to find a title, and I'm always lucky if something gets set during a project. And I was not there, but Sam and Deck were doing something, and they came back, and I think Deck said to Sam, "Yo, no risk, no fun." But especially the way he says it with his like swish kind of accent. And the thing is, Deck kind of fucked himself up. He cut his hand early in the tour. He had a couple injuries. All of them not too bad because he kept on shredding the whole trip. But it kind of became our to go to, like if somebody was trying to do a trick, yo, no risk, no fun. Yo, no risk, no fun. So we even had the idea to get it tattooed, but that never happened, sadly. I was so down. I was so down for that. But yeah, so I decided to give the name to the edit to
Cool,
the video. No risk, no fun.
cool. So it's Adapt, no risk, no fun, and this is the second
Yep.
Adapt video, right?
So yeah, this is the second VOD that we're making after. Especially, I actually just saw a memory on my Facebook. Exactly 2 years ago, I was rendering the final project of the Adapt DVD. So
Right.
it's like 2 years later, we're dropping a new part. It's kind of I'm excited about it.
Cool. So I was fortunate enough to get a sneak peek of the video. And yeah, you weren't kidding. Deck like iced his hand super hard, man. That looked crazy. He just like found that piece of rust on that bar and went right into his hand.
Right in his hands, and he was really scared himself. He was like straight away. He's like, "There's something in it. We need to get it out." And I looked at it like you see in the video. See me holding his hand, and he's pouring water on it.
Yeah.
Those are my fingers holding his wound open. And I was like, "Nah, I think you're like there's probably nothing there." And like right, we're on the beach, so we go to the lifeguard post, and they didn't really know what to do. They're really like I don't know.
Is
They
it a
didn't
shark
really know what to do.
attack? Like we don't know what to
No,
do.
but they were not allowed to do anything. They
Okay.
were not even allowed to um, do a how do you call it, like a
Like a
plaster
bandage?
over it.
Yeah.
They can only do bandage over it.
Okay.
So they said you need to go to the first aid, and that's over there. So we're like, okay, fuck it, just patch it up so we can skate there. So we went there, and that goes inside the first aid thing. We went shopping for some clothing, and we come back, and he's finally like stitched up and everything. And he said they didn't know anything. Like I had to tell them what to do. Deck is a smart guy, and he's like he had a lot of injuries in his life with scars, so he kind of became a pro in it, I guess. But he was like, "Yo," and they didn't know what to do, and I told him how to clean it and everything. So because of that, he was a little bit scared that it might get infected. I was like, "Nah, man, they cleaned it; it will be fine."
Sure.
And at the end of the trip, he took the bandage off, and it was like almost completely healed.
Oh,
So
nice.
so we got lucky with that because you never know, especially rust. Like
Yeah.
it can be fucked up, and yeah, he just got unlucky with that. So I mean that's like I started with that, and I think that's also the risk no fun is
Yeah.
perfect for that one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Speaking of Deck, where did this dude come from? Because for some reason, before he was on Adapt, I had no idea who he was, and this is the first time I really got to see him skate, and that dude rips.
yeah, I think if you go back, he used to skate for rollerblade. He
Okay.
skated a little bit for Trigger, went back to rollerblade, and now he's with us. He's been around, and I think Europeans definitely more know more about him than people anywhere else in the world. So he's from Switzerland, like an hour from Zurich. He skates a lot with fuck, what's the guy from Trigger? Beat Bayat,
Yeah.
Beat Bayat, whatever you want to call him. Um, and Swiss people they are known for big ledges and technical skating. Look at Cosimo, look at Beat, look at old guys. If you watch clip movies, the German videos from back in the day, Jona Messerly and stuff, they're like all technical and they do big ledges.
Sure.
And he grew up with that. It's all new for me to skate and film with him. It's
Yeah.
definitely a different type of skater that I'm used to. And also with the trip, like he had to like he's a thinker, so he stands at spots sometimes like watching it, and he goes like, no, not skating it. And then the next day he's like, I've been dreaming about it. Let's go back to the spot, and he laces a trick. Like that's like he's a different but like a beautiful kind of skater, and it shows. Like he has the most tricks, and I didn't even use everything of him. I had to like tell him to stop sometimes because he just kept on going, and we still had days to go. And I was like, nope, not skating today. You gotta save your energy for that big ledge we're trying to do tomorrow, and stuff like that. So So, but it's the first time that he saw all the guys. Sam, of course, he already skated with.
Sure.
He met Jaba back in the day, like 8 years ago when he was in California, when Jaba was still on racers. But like that was at the racers house, hardly people remember. Russell for the first time, and it all worked, man. Like everybody was clicking, it was all good. So it was nice.
Yeah. So it was you, Sem, Russell, Adrian, and Julian. Yeah. So that was the crew. And you guys came out, was it for Blading Cup?
Yeah, so we were planning, we wanted to do something this year because it's been 2 years ago, so we wanted to do something. So we were thinking, should we go to San Diego because it was always good weather. LA's too busy, you can hardly skate it, so let's go to San Diego, it's more quiet, good weather. Or should we go to Spain, Barcelona or whatever, Malaga, or something like that. So we've been looking around, we even thought about going to Athens and stuff. But just couldn't find good places with sleeping accommodations under a budget. Like we're still on a budget, we're still a skate team.
Sure.
In rollerblading where there's a lot of money. So then it kind of came like Deck really wanted to go to America. It made sense for Sem, and then Peter wanted to go again with Adapt this year. So it was kind of like, hey, should we go all together? Peter eventually didn't go anymore, but we were still like, hey, should we still do it? And then he was like, yeah, if you guys can fix it. So I started talking with people. Steve Steinmetz, New Spots, he offered his place to us because he stayed with me during Winter Clash for a week. And he said, listen, I want to repay you back. I'm staying with my girlfriend most of the time, so you guys got the key for the house. You can stay for 2.5 weeks. Hayden Ball gave me his car to just use. He's like, I'm biking to work, so use the van. So that saved so much money for our budget that we could have. We were like, okay, we can fly out there with everybody and skate. Sadly, Russell recently got a new job, so he was a little bit busy with work. Hence, there's not a lot of clips of him. The days that he came out, he skated hard. Sadly, got a little bit injured on the last couple of days. So the last couple of nights that we tried to film, he just didn't feel it. He's also just came back from an injury, so it was hard for him to get like really into it. But I think everybody skated the hardest. J-Bug got a little bit injured during the first week, but still came out, helped filming, still try to skate as much as possible as can. And it's still skating. We're still human beings. So for the 2.5 weeks that we did really good. And we did a little blading cup in between. Went to the Memorial Barbecue. Yeah, I mean for Sem and Deck, that was the first time Blade Cup. So they participated in the competition. I don't know if they did well or not. To be honest, I never watched the competition. But just showing their face there was good. People came definitely towards Sem because we dropped his edit a week before.
Yeah.
A lot of people were like, oh, shit. We saw Biz, and he was like, me and Sem walked up to him, and he's like, oh, shit. All you Dutch people are so tall. So it was good. It was good for a lot of people to see us there as a team. Deck, a lot of people didn't know who he was. I introduced him to a lot of people, and they were like, "Oh shit, yeah, we heard about you." So it was good, for them to show their face over there. So that was cool.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Like Deck is kind of the wild card. We've never at least stateside, and I've been pretty attached to a lot of stuff. Like his name never really came up until he was on Adapt, and there was like a big announcement about it, and I was like, "Oh, cool, a new skater who I've never seen before. They're bringing up somebody new." And then I watch him skate, and I was like, "This guy isn't new. He knows what he's doing. Like, what's going on?" And Sem, yeah, dude, his edit was amazing. You guys killed it on that thing. It was super super cool to watch, and his skating's really unique and awesome. He's got that like big tall guy style, but it's still real fluid and nice, and like it's this hybrid between like this European style that kind of is like park skating and control, and also just like wilding out and kind of being his own thing. But just the vibe he gives off in his skating and the way that you portray it through your edits it's awesome, and it showed through in the Adapt video this time as well.
Thanks.
You've been around for a while, and I don't know if everybody really knows kind of who you are. Like some people do, some people don't, but you've been filming for, I don't know, like when I was in Amsterdam, we ran into your first video, which was what, The Breakfast Club?
No. My first video is actually Concrete Jungle.
Oh,
okay. It came out in 1999. I was actually talking with Jan Welsh about it yesterday. He said, when did you drop your first video? So I was like, 1999. He's like, are you the longest filming continuous filmer from the Netherlands? I was like, maybe Europe, maybe in the whole world.
Yeah.
I think AJ started early. Ivan maybe started early. But if you look at like people that been continuously filming and dropping stuff, I don't want to sound arrogant, but I'm there. I'm on the top. But for me, I got lucky that I don't have a job and that I can just do this the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have to work to make money, to pay the rent and everything. I found myself a loophole in life, and I figured out how to do it and just have fun with what I do with my sport and hobby, and make it my job, and still have it like as a hobby, I guess,
Yeah, that's super cool, and it's really cool to see somebody who's like been there for so long and still doing it and still continuing to do it. And you're definitely, like, in my book, you're one of the people who has a different vision in skating. It's not just the generic like camera sweeps out of the way, the same style of filming that we seem to have everywhere. Sometimes like overuse of fisheye. Like you do a really good mix of everything, and it seems like you go into almost every project with a vision, and you initiate on, or you execute on that vision from start to end. And this video was like,
I tried to. Yeah.
This video was good too. You've also done like the Fred edit when he did the flat frames, and I love that one. I actually like sent you a message because I dug that one so much. I was like, dude, this is awesome. You did the slow shutter and everything. As far as filming goes, though, what is your weapon of choice when you're out there filming in the field? I have a Panasonic HPX 171. I think that's the one. So it's the HVX 200, but then the newer version of it. For that movie, I had a Sony that I had, like, I bought it from Chess Sands back in the day, 2011. Broke one, bought a new one. Eventually, I think I spilled 3 of them eventually. I love it. It's a big camera. It's the weight. For me, if you give me a phone or a DSLR, it's too light. I cannot play with that. So I started filming with big cameras, and also the zooming, you can zoom with it. So now I have actually 3 Panasonics, always one for backup. The P2 card, I had to get used to it because I was used to tapes, and I was always afraid to lose stuff. So my tapes were always my backup. But I found a way to do it on my computer, sort everything, name everything, make a backup. Of course, there's always the risk that you lose stuff. So that's my weapon of choice. I still have the Century Optics lens, the MK2. Got 2 of those, always one for backup. That's what I work with. Lately, I think I show that good in Dominic Bruce's introduction for Razors. We decided to film only with long shot, because that was like an idea of us, and I was like, oh, cool, that sounds like a good plan, let's do that. So I've been trying not to use too much fisheye. I think in this edit it also showed, also because I wanted to show the surrounding a lot, like because you're in California, you want to have some palm trees, you want to pan out and you see some beautiful skyline or whatsoever. Also, you get bored using the same fisheye. I saw an edit, I don't know, I was watching somebody's edit lately, and I was like, oh man, like it's just fisheye. And you can get away with that. But if you do not know how to film fish, or if you don't make it spectacular, it's really boring. So
Yeah, it's every time, and I think also every time I go in a project, I try to get like one kind of thing. With Fred, it was easy because we only filmed that in like 4 days, so it's really easy to do that. If you have a bigger project, for example, you go to San Diego and you're like, okay, I need some surrounding shots. So the first couple of days you do that, and then the fourth, fifth day you kind of forget it, and then you're like on day seven, like fuck, I need to film some surroundings. Like you may not use it, but at least you have it. Like I have so much extra footage that I shot because I was like, yo, I had my camera like on me the whole time. Like we're in the car, I have my camera on. If I see something, I wanted to film it.
Sure.
You know, like somebody's walking on the sidewalk, strange, I wanted to get that. If a car was flipped down, like I wanted to get like all that stuff. I wanted to get as much as possible. And some projects you kind of go into and you have no clue what you're doing, and at the end you'll make of it what it is. Sometimes that works. I'm definitely trying to go a little bit more I don't know if that sounds weird maybe for me, like professional. I watch a lot of skateboard edits, and for example they have like a camera, you'll see it, Deck does this backside 540 on a kink rail, and we saw that rail in a skateboard edit like while we were there, so Steve knew where it was, and they had a shot with a tripod on the front, and then the cameraman was standing right next to it but zoomed in, and I was like, I'm going to do exactly the same because I think it looks cool, you know? So I'm trying to do a little bit more like that.
Yeah.
Do some like double shots, but not like one fisheye, one long shot, but like actually do two long shots, and one just framed out and the other one same frame but zoomed in. You can stand next to it, but you kind of zoom in. So try to play with that, trying to learn some stuff with that. I'm also trying to switch my edit software. I've been editing on Final Cut 7 forever, but my new laptop doesn't have Final Cut 7 on it, doesn't work on it, so I have to learn Premiere, and that's like all new for me. So it's kind of like, shit, fuck, you know, what to do.
I'm the same way. I don't want to switch over to Premiere, but I made the commitment to switch from 7 to 10 a long time ago, and 10's fine. It does a lot of good stuff, but also it's a lot of iMovie is what it feels like. So
that's what I have the problem with. That's why I cannot do Final Cut. I cannot go Final Cut. I use it to capture my footage, because Premiere doesn't have an option to get P2 files in. So I have Final Cut X on my computer and Premiere on my laptop. Back home, like the movie is still edited back home on my bigger computer on Final Cut 7. Yeah. But for 2020, I really want to go do stuff on Premiere. Also because I want to learn After Effects and all that stuff. I've never been doing that, and you can see maybe in the titles, I've been playing with the titles, different colors, like letters and stuff. With Sem's edit, Sem made that. I helped him. I watched him doing it on After Effects, that the letters move. You know, it's so good. Sem Croft and then that brand. Like I want to do a little bit more than that, like because I'm not filming with a drone or a gimbal, so my footage is going to be kind of the same. So I want to try to do something else with the images, stuff around it, you know, that it still keeps also for myself new, because otherwise you're going to have the same, and then it's going to be boring, you know?
Yeah, so. Absolutely. No, that was great insight, and I appreciate the deep dive into the world of your mind whenever it comes to video, because it's always interesting to meet somebody who's on the professional tier of videography. There's like a lot of people film, a lot of people edit, but there's few people who have been in it, like you've said, as long as you have, and really like know the ins and outs and every complexity that comes along with it. So it's interesting to get that perspective. I did notice you got a trick in the video too.
One trick, yeah.
It's cool. It's cool to see you skate, man. I don't see very much from you.
We went to that spot. It was a school, and that ledge was brand new. So we started to skate it. You know, we had to wax it. After our session, it was like shiny. It was like I don't know. California people know how to pour concrete because it's amazing. You just do a little bit of wax on it, it slides like a motherfucker. Yeah. So everybody was kind of skating, and I said to them, like, listen, I'm not filming until I got this backside. I was actually trying to full torque it, but eventually I just went for a backside. This is the problem. I like to skate more, but then you got 3 motherfuckers killing a ledge. You're like, I'll just film this, you know?
Yep.
So I said, like, Sam, hold this camera, film me. I need a trick. Did one group backside. I was like, okay, guys, you're up. And then we did like a half-hour session of them just sliding the whole ledge. I try to skate a little bit more. Just getting old, body hurts. Trying to get a little bit better in the upcoming year. Trying to get like my I'm actually have this warm thing right now on my neck because I've been like my muscles been hurting lately. Been sleeping bad, so we'll get there eventually.
And you were rocking a pair of those custom adapts, right? So Peter made you a pair, and it had like a VX on or not a VX, but an HVX on the back of it, or a fisheye.
So it's the if you have the DVD or if you watch the movie, the intro is a camera. It's the lens with the mic and everything. So I was like, yo, I want to get that on my skate because, you know, I'm the cameraman. So I changed it a little bit, put the X in it. Obvious reasons for me to X. I got that on the back. And since my skate is made with vegan leather, I didn't have a lot of choice with like color-wise. So he had a little bit of a batch of gray stuff left. From a particular skater that dropped off the team. I'm not mentioning his name. So I said, yeah, let's try to do something with that. And so I went to the adapt, the custom make thing. And I fucked around a little bit, showed him. He's like, cool, got you. And we got them. So we left on Wednesday to America. And Sam got the new skates, the light brown ones. And I got those skates on the Sunday before.
Wow.
So super stoked, fresh new skates to the States, you know.
Now,
that's good.
That's not your first pair of adapts, right? You've had a bunch of pairs over the last couple
of years. I only have one pair.
Oh, really?
That's the whole thing. I got my first pair of skates. Let me see. So I started filming this 3 years ago. So I've been skating the same pair of skates for 4 years.
Wow. So
yeah, for 4 years, and I have them here in Paris because I leave them here in Paris so I don't have to bring my skates back and forth the whole time. They're still good. I skated them 2 days ago and they're still fucking good. There's like, you know, the top is like the front is like a little piece of fake leather off and that's it, you know, like other than that, those skates still fucking good.
Yeah. Like what did you skate previous of Adapt? Is there anything you can compare them to?
No, there's no skate because this is the thing. I have big feet and I guess white feet. I always have problems with having skates on for a long time. And the only skate that I could wear longer than an hour were Valo lights because they're a little bit wider.
Yep.
Those were the only skates that I could wear for like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. Adapt skates I can wear for 6 hours. Not a joke. I can keep them on for 6 hours and skate back and forth through a city and do some tricks and film and whatever. And then after 6 hours, I'm kind of like, okay, now I need to take these skates off.
Yeah.
Other than that, no other skates I can ever wear having that problem. I was in Barcelona last year and I tried some dam skates on and no joke, I went in, I did the buckle and I was like, okay, never mind. Like this already feels horrible.
Yeah.
I couldn't even move. And I was like, nah, plastic boots are not for me anymore.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people that never skated Adapt will be like weird about the feed cut and everything. But I think if you try these skates and of course everybody is different because not everybody will like them, but I think they're so durable and eventually they're really soft around your feet. Like I never had a blister. My first pair, the first week I had a blister and that was it. Just because I probably had to get used to these skates. But my new skates, I was like, oh, maybe I get a blister again on the first week. No, it didn't happen. Yeah. And actually the second day I skated them was in San Diego and we didn't have a car. So we skated the whole day for 8 hours, had my skates on.
Yeah.
Not a blister.
Yeah.
So for me, that's like perfect skates.
Awesome.
Everybody has different feet. For everybody's different, but you might think they're expensive, but if you look how long they last, they are so much cheaper than other skates because plastic skates. But this is the thing. Nowadays, people want to order skates and have them the next days. And with Adapt, it takes a little bit longer because they're handmade. Right. You know, takes a little bit longer. Need to be shipped. But ask everybody that has those skates. It's fucking worth it. So I don't know if you ever skated them yourselves, but for me,
Yeah,
I love them.
I
So
tried the original Benny Hermanus, and they felt really weird on my feet. They felt oddly rigid at the top, but like
yeah,
I don't know, I wasn't super into it. And then when I was at Blading Cup a couple of years ago, I got to try Steve John's pair, who now has given them to Lawrence, who does back to blading, and so I was able to skate those too, and they felt a lot better. That was my first time skating the wish frames and stuff like that too. I've also skated the sole plates and the symmetric frame on a whole different skate. I think I put on a pair of carbons or something like that, and that was a whole different experience as well. But overall, I mean, that skate was really cushy. It was really comfy, and I've definitely thought about picking up another pair. It's just like same thing. It's the cost that kind of comes down to it. And I'm like, oh, it's expensive, and then I look in my garage and I've got 12 pairs of plastic shell skates. So who am I to complain about it? You know.
The first time I tried adapt skates, I had some old pair of Erik Dro, Dutch guy.
Yeah.
And I think it was the second skate they ever brought out. I put them on. I was like, oh my God, this is horrible. Dropped in a mini ramp. Me dropping in a mini ramp is already fun. And I was like, nah, man, this sucks. And then 6 years later, I get this vegan skate. But in the last 4 years that I've been with them, he changed so much. Like, it's not even the skate anymore. Like, Sam got his skates, and he was like, yo, they're lighter than I'm used to. Like, he had a pair in his hands without a frame, old ones, and he had the new ones with frames, and they were lighter than the ones without a frame.
Yeah.
Like, Peter finds a way to make them better and lighter. Like, he gives you a skate to test, and he's already like, but this is like a test, but I'm already busy fixing that one. You know, like he is like every time. So, yeah, they're getting better and better and better.
Of pretty much any skate manufacturer out there, I feel like Adapt is on the bleeding edge of like trying something that's never been done before. I mean, they're like Freedom of Feet Kato, like from the early 90s and, you know, or from the late 90s and early 2000s, where he's like hand making all these remedies from his car and passing them out. And like, this is bleeding edge, you know, technology. Like you're using carbon fiber and vegan materials and all kinds of stuff, and it's something new. And it's, if you're gonna try everything and want to be, you know, all about it, then do it. I think they're useful.
I think it's just hard for especially people overseas. You guys have hardly people skating there on those skates. If you look to San Diego, there's a lot of people skating adapts because you got Russell there, you got Derek Hall that's been skating them for a while. So Sean is skating them now, Hayden Ball, Derek Hall, Steve is skating them. A couple more people are skating them because you have people there you can have the skating in hand. But like if you have nobody around, like you can just see them. They look cool, but I don't know how they feel, you know? Like, so that's also like, I think a hard part about it, that it's hard for people to make a decision when they never saw the skate in real life. So that's next year Blading Cup, we're there with Adapt for sure. We already said it. We're like, we need to be there because otherwise, you know, people need to hold the product in their hand. Like, come at Winter Clash at the booth, people are just holding that skate and looking at it. People that never see that skate. And a lot of people buy the skate because then they finally can see it and squeeze it. It's like with everything. Like, you want to buy something, you're not going to be online. Like, if it's like, you know, I cannot hardly buy clothing online because I need to fit it on, because otherwise I'll be like, fuck, you know. A lot of girls do it, but I cannot do it. I need to like try it on, because otherwise I'll be sending it back again, you know. So I think that's like the hard part of like trying to sell a good product to the world when people cannot like physically touch it.
Since we're on the same subject of selling a product to the world, why should anybody pick up the Adapt video that we just produced here?
Because it's dope. No, real simple. If you buy our VOD, you are supporting straight away to the scene, straight away into a brand, and you helping us do this again. Every every profit of this video goes straight into a next project that we're doing next year. Like, if this works well, we're going to do it again. Depends where we're going. It's the same as Formosa. I don't know if you guys do it with Jetlag Disciples. We want to do this more and more and more and more often, you know? Like, the whole vibe that I had with the team sitting in a house was amazing. Like, just hanging with everybody. Like, I haven't seen Julian and Russell in like a year, if not longer. So it's really cool to just hang and chill, and then go out and skate, and people feed of each other and all that stuff, instead of like, hey, send me some footage and I'll make a team edit. Nah, man, like, you wanna you want to be together because you're a team. And we're 4 people. And for me, it's perfect. Not a bigger team, just 4 people. We actually know each other. You know, we can make jokes. We can make fun of each other. Like, even with Deck being the new guy in the team, we make fun of each other and we laugh with each other, and he's making fun of us. And that's what you need instead of like a whole huge team that hardly people know each other, to get that team vibe. So I want to do this more and more often. Peter gives me the go to do this. And yeah, so if you like skating, if you like the previous Adapt things that I made, if you like the skaters in our team, pick it up. Trailer is dropping next week, and it's short, but it will show you a little bit what's going to happen. And yeah, it's just supporting blading, and I think that's why we're all here. We all want blading to be bigger. It's €5, $5. You know, like, it's nothing. Like, that's like what, 1 or 2 beers. And we've been saying this all the time. It's like, it's a few beers, just buy it, you know, and whatever. If you share it with your friends, I don't give a fuck, but buy it, you know, like, have, like, show what you love. Show your, I buy almost every VOD, and sometimes I'm like, oh man, but I'm like, no, people fucking put time and effort in this. Like, I respect that, you know. So I'm not the best salesperson, but just buy it because you believe in our sport.
Hell yeah, that's awesome, and that's exactly it.
Instead of fucking signing a petition online about the X Games coming back, buy a fucking VOD.
That's how you make real change in blading, is you support the people in blading.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the whole reason why we do Blader Union the way that we do. Like, money comes in, we pour it right back into the business. Like, I don't care. I want to wake up tomorrow and have a choice between razors and them and Adapt and everything else on the market. And the only way that stuff's going to continue is with guys like you going out and busting your asses and making cool products.
Yeah, I hope so.
Well, Cavin, I don't want to take too much more of your time because I know it's getting late out there in Paris, but thank you so much for coming on and chatting with me about this. Again, go out, buy the Adapt video, check out the dudes shredding in San Diego. It's Deck, Julian, Russell, Sem, and obviously yourself out there ripping.
One
cool.
trick. Woo-hoo.
Yeah, well, thanks again, Cavin. I appreciate your time, man.
Thank you guys so much for everything you guys do, and yeah, keep it up. And for everybody out there, Happy New Year, and let's make 2020 the best year for rollerblading. Fuck yes.
Yes.
Cheers.